Hi YouTube, this is Nani. This is my week 20 update. I'm sorry it's a little bit late, but I've had a very crazy week. I am 20 weeks and 5 days today. So this is probably gonna be a pretty long vlog because, like I said, I've had a really crazy week. Well, first of all, let me just get right into it. I'm sure you guys remember my last vlog that I did, which was last Monday. I was starting to feel like I was gonna come down with something. Well, I did. Turns out I had the swine flu. Yes, the swine flu. It was crazy. So on Monday I just had that little tickle in my throat, and then on Tuesday I went to work and I had like a cough and stuff, but I still was feeling you know, good enough to go to work. But then Tuesday night it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was coughing, I was sneezing, my body hurt, I was just a mess. And then I started getting a temperature, I started getting a fever, and I never ever get a fever, so that really scared me. And then it just so happened that also on Tuesday my sister called me and she told me not to come over there because my niece had the swine flu. So I was like, I'm starting to feel sick myself. And then that night, Tuesday night, is when it really hit me. So Wednesday I started getting a fever, and I went to the emergency room. My fiance was like, oh, it's probably nothing, blah blah blah. So I was like, well, you know, it's better safe than sorry. So I went to the emergency room. They took my temperature, and when I had taken my temperature probably about 2 hours, and basically within 2 hours my temperature went from 99.7, which is like barely even a fever, to I think it was 101.4 when I got to the emergency room. So I mean, and like I said, I never ever get a fever. So so they took me into the emergency room. The first thing the first thing they did was, well, after they took my temperature and they took me back into the emergency room, one of the first things they did was do a flu test on me. Which the way they do that is they take like a long like tube thing and they stick it up your nose all the way to the back. It's so uncomfortable. So they did that. Oh, they had me put a mask on. As soon as I got to the emergency room, I had to put a mask on. I was wearing a mask the whole time. It was so uncomfortable. And then the flu test came back positive for flu type A, and they said that the swine flu is type A. So they immediately started treating me like I had the swine flu, even though it wasn't definitive yet. They put me on Tamiflu, and then they did a chest x-ray on me, which I didn't want them to do an x-ray on me because of, you know, it's not good for the baby, but they said that they could put they put like a cover over my stomach, and they said that would help protect the baby. They did a chest x-ray on me, and they said that after they did the chest x-ray and they told me the flu test came out positive, they said that they wanted to keep me overnight for examination. And I was like, okay, you know, because I'm pregnant and, you know, I could have the swine flu. They wanted to keep me overnight for observation. So I stayed over. This was Wednesday. I stayed overnight on, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember everything because everything happened so fast. I believe it was on Thursday. They did the test for the swine flu, and the way they do the test for the swine flu is the same way they do the regular flu test, except for the tube is a little bit thicker and they have to do it up both nostrils. Oh my god, that was horrible. Like, I kept sneezing. I was sneezing up a storm after they did that to me. They hooked me up to an IV because they said that my blood pressure was low and like I looked like I was getting dehydrated, so they had me hooked up to an IV. They also had me take some potassium. They said my potassium was low. The whole time I was there, they took my blood like 5 times. It was horrible. I was hooked up to an IV the whole time. They had me hooked up to a heart monitor. And they had me on the Tamiflu. Already by Thursday I felt, you know, a lot better. And then Thursday they told me that they wanted to keep me a couple more days for observation. So anyways, I was in there Wednesday. I went there Wednesday around 5:30. I didn't get out till Saturday night, like at 9 o'clock. So I was there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they actually wanted to keep me until Sunday. And I told them no. Because I was so sick and tired of being in there. I couldn't even take a shower while I was in there. Oh my god, I was it was hell. I mean, but it was all for the safety of, you know, my baby and everything. Also, while I was there, they did an ultrasound and they were able to tell me the sex, but I'll get to that in a second. That's another story. I got out of there Saturday. Now, they wanted to keep me until Sunday because they said that the Tamiflu pills, they're really expensive. They're like over $100, and they didn't want me to have to pay for the pills. But I'm on Medicaid, so Medicaid, I'm pretty sure Medicaid covers the pills. I actually called my sister and to find out if my niece, because my niece, I told you, she had the swine flu, to see if it covered the pills for her, because she's also on Medicaid, and she said yeah. So I told them, I was like, look, I was like, I'm tired of being, I was crying when I found out that they wanted to keep me till the next day out, because if one, you know, it was supposed to be just one day, and one day it turned into almost 4 days, and I was going crazy. So when they told me they wanted to keep me again until Sunday, I was bawling. I was like crying. I'm like, I want to go home. Like, I really didn't even, like, I was there by myself pretty much the whole time. The only thing that there was to do was like sleep and watch TV. That's all I could do. And like, my fiance came, but he would only come like maybe 2-3 hours a day because he had to work. And then it was just, I don't know, it was just horrible. So when they told me they wanted to keep me until Sunday, I was like, no. I was like, I'm sure that the pill, that's a stupid reason to keep me until the next day, because they didn't want me to pay for the pills. Like, I was sure that a hospital stay cost a whole lot more than the stupid pills. So they checked into it. They said that Medicaid did cover my pills. So they let me go Saturday night, and I was so happy. I came home Saturday night, and I took the longest shower ever because I hadn't taken a shower in almost 4 days. I was only allowed to like wipe down with like wet cloths, and I was just, oh my god, and I was just exhausted from just laying on and the bed was uncomfortable. The nurses were incompetent. Like, they kept forgetting to do things. They kept forgetting to turn like the little monitor, like they would come in and check my blood pressure, and they kept forgetting to turn the machine off, so it would like beep all night and I couldn't go back to sleep. And it's just it was worse than jail. I've never been to jail, but I know in jail they don't come in every 3 hours to come and freaking torture you. So I say it was worse than jail. So I came out Saturday, and they told me I couldn't go back to work until Wednesday. But when I left, I forgot to ask for a doctor's excuse because I was just in a rush to leave. So, and I was actually supposed to start back work. I was supposed to work that Saturday and Sunday. I couldn't go to work Saturday and Sunday. And then the next day I was scheduled to work was on Tuesday. I figured I could probably go back on Tuesday, but they told me I couldn't go back till Wednesday. And then when I called to get the doctor's excuse, they told me that I wasn't gonna be able to go back to work till Friday. And I was like, oh no, I need to go back to work as soon as possible. So they said fine, they changed it till Thursday. So Thursday I go back to work. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. That's my fiance. I'll call him back. So I go back to work on Thursday, thank God. I've just been stuck at home because even though I'm a lot better, I could still be contagious. So I'm like stuck at home. Oh, also when I was in the hospital, anytime somebody came to visit me, they had to wear like a robe, like the covers or whatever, the gown. They had to wear a gown, they had to wear a mask, and they had to wear gloves. So I was like I felt like I was freaking like in, what do they call that? Like isolation. Like it was crazy. Anytime somebody came into my room, they had to like dress up. I'm so glad to be out.